Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
We are
We are.
We are
the Group 3 of Section Echo.
interview. It is the questioning of a person believed to possess knowledge and information that is relevant to the investigation of a crime or on criminal activities. Cognitive interview. It is a form or technique in the conduct of interviews upon willing and cooperative witnesses, where they are given the full opportunity to narrate their accounts without intervention, interruption, and interference from the interviewer. In interview, there is the golden rule, in which never conduct or let anyone conduct an interview if the interviewer has not gone to the crime scene. There is also the qualities of a good interviewer. First is the rapport, wherein you need to build a close and harmonious relationship with the people you are interviewing. Second is the forceful personality, wherein you need to have a confident as an interviewer. Third is the knowledge of human behavior, and last is the conversational tone of voice.
Reason why witnesses refuse to talk and testify. Number 1, fear of reprisal. Number 2, great inconvenience. Number 3, hatreds against the police. Number 4, bias of the witness. Number 5, avoidance of publicity. Number 6, family restriction. Number 7, bigotry. And the last, cultist indoctrination. Common techniques to convince witness to talk and testify. Many of these witnesses want that they will not be utilized as a formal witness but to remain anonymous. Stage of handling interview. Number 1, preparation. Number 2, approach. Number 4, Number 3, cognitive interview.
Sir, so now I will discuss the rules in questioning. Number 1, one question at a time. Number 2, avoid implied answers. Number 3, simplicity of questions. Number 4, saving faces embarrassing. Number 5, yes and no answer. Next is types of witnesses according to their attitude. Number 1, know nothing type. Number 2, disinterested type. Number 3, the drunken type. 4, suspicious type. 5, talkative type.
Go.
Number 6 is honest witnesses. Number 7, deceitful witness. Number 8, timid witness. Number 9, boasting, egoistic, or egocentric witnesses. Number 10, refusal to talk witnesses.
What is interrogation? Is a questioning of a person suspected of having committed an offense or a person who is reluctant to make full disclosure of information in his possession which is pertinent to the investigation. What is the golden rule of interrogation? Make him admit something, no matter how small or trivial. Usually the first admission will lead to another. We will now distinguish confession from admission. Confession in criminal law, a statement in which a person acknowledges that he is guilty of committing one or more crimes, while admission embraces any statement of fact made by a party which is against his interest or unfavorable to the conclusion, for which he contends or inconsistent with the facts alleged by him. There are kinds of confessions. First is extrajudicial confession. Is defined to mean the free and voluntary confession of guilt by a person accused of a crime in the course of conversation with persons other than judge or magistrate seized of the charge against himself. Next is judicial confession. are those which are made before a magistrate or in court in the due course of legal proceedings. A judicial confession has been defined to mean plea of guilty on arrangement made before a court if made freely by a person in a fit state of mind.
The rights of accused during custodial investigation. The right to remain silent, the right to have a counsel of his own choice, and if he has none, the government must provide one for him. Right to be informed of the nature of the charge against him and whatever he say may be used against him. The techniques of interrogation. Number 1 is emotional appeal. Number 2 is systematic approach. And the last is friendliness. Tricks and bluffs. The pretense of solid evidence against the accused. The weakest link. Drama. Feigning contact with family members. More tricks and buff. The lineup. Reverse lineup.
Approach. The investigator displays a stern personality and demands immediate response. Stern method. Jolting. The investigator selects the right moment to shout a pertinent questions in an apparent righteous outrage. Number 2. Opportunity to lie. The suspect is given all the opportunities to lie with repetitive questions. Number 3. Indifference. The investigators will discuss the case in the presence of the subject. Number 4. Questioning is a formality. The investigator asks a series of questions to the subject since it is the right of the subject to answer. If the subject lies, then the investigator may drop his pen and look at the subject and stare at his notes and shakes his head. Matt and Jeff's sweet and sour method. The use of two investigators arrogant and thoughtful. Removing the ethnic or cultural barrier. If the suspect is an Ilocano investigator and the same should interrogate him. The same with other ethnic or cultural groups. Searching for the soft spot. The investigator may use any soft spot to let the accused confess for a crime. The soft spots may be the youngest child, the spouse, brother and sister, best friend, etc. Modern techniques of investigation. Rationalization. It is the use of reasons which is acceptable to the subject that lead to the commission of the crime. Projection. It is the process of putting the blame to other person, not alone to the suspect. Minimization. It is the act of minimizing the culpability of the suspect.
But baby, you don't know me. But baby, you don't know. I'll show you all the stars I used to hide. No one ever seen